Alright, so Saeko here, welcoming Bronx and Bloody is our player of the period. So we're gonna introduce him, and then we got Bronx, like
Hi.
always.
Hello.
Hey. How are you?
So we're just gonna basically talk about our usual, like our the games that's happening in our community, the new games, updates, those usual things that come every so often. Updates. Anything you want to say, Bronx?
Yeah, definitely. Last time we did our podcast, we mentioned how we're gonna start doing the player of the period. And like Seiko said, BloodyFang was chosen as this period's player. The reason behind that was just his activity, his support of the community, and just kind of always being out there and interacting. You know, if there's people in Discord, he's usually one of them. So yeah, we're pretty happy with what we've seen from that, and you know, he really showed that he's happy to be here. He's helped us out in streams, and has been a pretty big part of the community. So this is a pretty good example for anybody that wants the player of the period and wants to get in on the podcast and all that. That's really the best example to follow is what Bloody's been doing here recently.
So now that said, you want to say something, Bloody? Like what you've done, or like introduce yourself? Like,
Well, hello everybody. My name is BloodyFang, and it's my first time being in a podcast. And the reason I was here is because mostly all the days I've been playing and being on Discord.
Is there? I mean, from everything that you've been doing and everything that you've seen and all the changes in the community, I mean, are you enjoying since you're such a big part? Are you enjoying what you have seen? You know, the progress that we're making so far.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying everything. I've been part of the WarDogz community for about like 6 months. So I've been getting all wrapped up on what's going on, and I'm really interested and keep going.
All right, well, let's switch this sort over. We're gonna mention it's still the I don't know. I don't even know if it's number one anymore, but one of the top games on Steam right now, of course, Players Unknown's Battleground or PUBG. The one thing that's I really wanted to hit on with that is it's actually come to light as of yesterday that Brendan Green is interested in the adding in a single player campaign. He hosted a Reddit AMA yesterday and mentioned that possibility amongst other things about the game. Now, with that being said, I want to have a little discussion over the addition of a single player, especially to a game like PUBG. So, I mean, Seiko, Bloody, you guys have any comments on this addition?
I have a comment. I would actually I would love that, to be honest, because the game, I mean, would really should introduce a I don't know if it should have like within the game, or if they should have like a side game or something, just keep the folks playing to his game. But like, I mean, you could basically, now he has this franchise on PUBG, he could just add another game where it's just a single player. And honestly, I think a lot of people would play it because PUBG is a really fun, addicting game. I mean, they have almost 400,000 people playing constantly, so it's a really addicting game that would be fun to play. And I would definitely love playing a solo, like, storyline. Like, if it was just strictly you and like bots, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I see that. What about you, Bloody? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, having a single player's campaign will actually test people out that how exactly they know the game, and that'll be kind of cool to test it out.
Yeah, I feel that. See, the way that I've always seen the single player campaigns, like if you look at Call of Duty or the Battlefield series, they're mainly big because of their multiplayer, the online competitiveness and all that. So the single player campaign, a lot of people just bypass those, but if you do play through a single player campaign and then you go online, you start noticing things like, hey, this map I'm playing on was this section of the campaign, and all of that. It kind of gives you a closer touch to the game itself, especially on the online side. So, say there is an edition of the single player campaign in PUBG, you play it, and then you figure out why Waterworld is Waterworld. Why is that city flooded? You figure out why Spawn Island is the way that it is, or you could go through and get a closer relationship with the game, because I mean, if you know more about the game, the more you respect the game. So I mean, I feel like that would be a pretty good thing about it. But then again, who's to say that a lot of people would actually play it, considering PUBG is only popular because it's online.
Yeah, the multiplayer. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I say it would be good to have I guess a single player campaign, but like also like I said, they could branch off. They don't have to add it to PUBG. They could be like make an actual, like just a side game or some way to like still add those people that like to only play single campaigns. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that only like to play single player campaigns, and actually adding a game where on top, like for a game that's like PUBG where it's strictly like multiplayer, adding a part of it where it's actually, oh, I could just play by myself now. So that, I guess that's a good thing to add on to Players Unknown.
Well, I mean, if it is another game, if it's just a single player only game, if you think about it, once that game's beat, it's kind of useless. Other than people like me who like to go back and play it again, maybe 6 months later. But
Yeah.
for a lot of people, they beat it and then they just want to get rid of it. So eventually, any money that you make is going to come straight to an end. With PUBG, people will buy the game and then recommend it to their friends and everything else, and it's kind of a constant cycle until everybody in the world either doesn't like it or has bought it. So I mean, it's kind of a major toss up on what the appropriate way to do that is. So I mean, that'll be pretty interesting to look forward to. I know if it is implemented, I will definitely play it. I mean, I think that would be awesome. So we'll just keep an eye on that, and we'll keep everybody updated once we hear some more stuff about it. But let's go ahead and move on to some Dirty Bomb. Seiko, I know you've been playing it a lot, or Bloody, you've been playing it too. What about you guys? You want to talk about anything on that?
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, I've been playing it for. I came back to it, to be honest, cause like I played it back when it first came out, and it was okay. It was just another FPS. Kind of like has I would have to say more of fast pace to it than if you're playing like say Black Squad like we usually do. Um, it's more of a team competitive game where you actually have to be more kind of reminds me of like Overwatch, because you have to have a balance of each character. Like you have to have a medic, or you have to have a certain class to help benefit you to winning the objective.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean that's what I've been really playing, is something just to get like another game that's fast paced basically. And I guess there's some kind of ghost clip event coming up or something like that. So I don't know exactly what that's all about. You want to point into that or?
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on it. So the Ghost Clip event that runs, it started yesterday and it runs until October 5th. Now what that is it's pretty much during this time period, any crates that you would get are going to be limited edition crates, and within those crates you have the possibility of getting a limited edition loadout card. Now obviously, since they're limited edition, they're going to be pretty high up
Pop.
there, and yeah. So I mean, that's something that I'm actually looking forward to, mostly because limited edition stuff, if it's never going to come back, pretty high up there stuff. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And then also the event brings an update, obviously, and then within that update, there's going to be some map improvements and bug fixes. And any of those details on the map improvements and the bug fixes, they can actually be found on the game's Steam community page. So if you're interested in that, definitely take a look at that. But yeah, that's really all we have over Dirty Bomb. We can actually discuss the recent update in Black Squad. Saeko or Bloody, you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. So supposedly there's a there's like previously there's always updates for Black Squad every week it seems like, and this one's just a small update like on few things. Like I guess they're readjusting sensitivity in the game again. So that's I guess that's a big issue for people right now is their sensitivity's off. Also adding in a new weapon called the P90. We all know it. It's most common SMG in any FPS. It's one of the fewer SMGs that people know, and I guess they're also having a holiday discount on some of the things because I guess in South Korea, where the game's been found or made, is Thanksgiving season for them in South Korea. So I guess they're having a holiday discount. Like I believe it's like 20% off of all their stuff going on right now. So
I think the 20% off, from what I read, is only on the one skin. I'm pretty sure the Dan Chong or whatever it is skin.
It's the Dongchong skin for the P90. No, it's the Dongchong skin for the P90, the S15, the SR47, the DSR1, the M45, and the Kukri.
Oh, Kukri. Okay.
Yeah.
So so it's this. So it's that weapon skin, but it's not just for the P90. It's for all the guns that have that skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's also a car item, the ones you put where your name pops out.
Oh, so like a
they have
name
that
tag.
one. Yeah, a name tag.
Okay.
They have two, the Dongchong one and the Azteca one. Yeah, and talking about the P90, probably when people test it out in the game, they're gonna become some complaints and all that they need to nerf. So people need to test it out and this week until next patch.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see next patch. Oh, we nerfed the P90. Yeah.
Well, because that's what they did with the MPX.
Yeah.
The MP5 is what we call it. But that's what they did. Everybody that didn't use it, that was one of our things on our last update, was the fact that the people that didn't use it got mad about it. So so hopefully more people use the P90 and actually be like, okay, this gun's okay as long as I'm not the one that's getting killed by it.
And they added another stuff to the channels. It's called competition match. Competition match will be in all servers. It's an online and offline competition and event. Only operators and participants who are authorized by the organizers are allowed to enter and use the channel. So that's something new to test out too, because that's coming on the update.
Yeah, that's something I actually want to look into because it really depends on who the organizers are. Maybe it's like a league, and the head of that league is the organizer. So that's something that I want to look into, and we could possibly even get a group of our guys in on that. So yeah, be sure to look out for updates on that because that's something that can expand us pretty good in Black Squad.
Yeah, because I'm actually thinking, is that for like also like competitions within like clans? Is that like kind of like Clan Wars but with more of a tournament style? Is that what they're trying to include in the game? Because I know in South Korea they have tournament modes. So
Well,
that's
it almost sounds like the way that like Paladins is. You have casual gameplay, then you have competitive gameplay, and you
mhm.
can go into either one. It's just casual. You know, you don't really get in a ranking system or type thing. And then if you win in competitive mode, you start building up or going up the ladder. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's how I would kind of justify it. Yeah. Anybody got anything else on Black Squad?
Let me give a little explanation for those people who don't know what Dongchang means. Okay, this is a little explanation I found. Oh, Dongchang is a traditional Korean decorative coloring paintings in civilized and religious wooden building. Uh, uh, Dongchang is the base of five basic colors: blue east, white west, red south, black north, and yellow center. So this is saying that this specific coloring that you will see in some skins uh, are basically found in all South Korean, um, mostly monuments and traditional places they have. This these traditional colors are been around like 20,000 years ago. They were found in wall paintings in a cave in South Korea, which name I can't find. I don't know why. That's what it is. So people who have like seen some of their skins like different, that these are the colors that will come on some skins because I'm seeing some with blue, some with red, some with white, some with yellow, and some with a black. So people that say, "Oh, you got the same skin as I do, but it's different." All skins are gonna come different. So that's a good thing they added too. They're adding all their traditional colors to it.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool if you think about it. I mean,
yeah. I never even thought about it that way because the
yeah,
way they just pointed out is their type of Thanksgiving
yeah. I mean,
is
it's pretty cool if you can take another culture and kind of implement in something that you're doing. You know, like oh, we've never been exposed to this culture, and then just by playing this game and kind of seeing that, and then you do a little bit of research. You know, one Google search right then and there, you learn a new piece of this culture. So yeah, that's actually I mean, that's pretty cool to me at least. I don't know.
yes.
I'm nerdy though, so. So let's go ahead and move on. I want to
To
discuss a little bit about Steam and some shady stuff that's going on over there. So pretty
because it
much
just
the way it happens is when a bunch of people get pissed off because of a certain update. Say that Black Squad came in and nerfed every single gun, or every gun except for one, or something that the majority of the community wouldn't be happy with. That's when a review bomb would typically come in. So I mean, you got your a bunch of your player base that's not happy anymore because of an update you came out with. They're all going to post a review, and typically they're negative because they're pissed off, and only people review when they're mad. So even though they generally like the game, it's because of one update that they throw out a review bomb. So the way that Steam is trying to, I wouldn't say they're trying to fix it. I would say that they're trying to make it easier to figure it out that it's a review bomb. Is they're adding graphs like hexagrams and all of that. They're adding that so that they can, so that the user, when reading these reviews and be like, wow, there's a bunch of negative reviews. I don't know why. And then they look at the graph and say, okay, well, a bunch of negative reviews came in on this day or in this time frame. What happened in this time frame? There was an update. Okay, a lot of people weren't happy with this update. and it kind of makes it easier for the user to understand the review system. I mean, I don't think that, at least for me and people like me, I don't go off of Steam reviews unless none of my friends play it and it's something that I'm paying money for. It's a free game. I'll just try it. I don't care. But if it's something like, say, PUBG, I mean, this happened to PUBG, which is why it's a big deal, because anything that happens to PUBG, it's a big deal. But really, if you're paying $30 for a game, you want to make sure you're not wasting your money. So you're going to read those reviews. But you could also just ask the people that play it. I mean, it shows you right there, like, hey, these are your friends that have played this game. And you could ask them straight up, like, what's up with all these negative reviews, and they can kind of give you some insight. I mean, it's kind of a dumb thing, but if you look at it from Steam's perspective, it's not that big of a deal, because people are doing the reviews. That's why the review system is there. So, in Steam's eyes, they're like, oh well, it's not really a problem because people aren't happy with what you're doing, so they are writing a review. And they don't want to discourage people from writing a review because of an update, because that's not necessarily Steam's problem. It's the game's problem. So, I mean, I feel like they're making it a bigger deal than it actually is, but, I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, that's like honestly, the last update for Black Squad, when they said that they were adding ping limits to Europe's clan wars, kind of got me mad about the game. Is because when I was like, why are you adding ping limits to European servers for clan wars when you haven't even added ping limits to North America yet? And I think I actually did put a negative review on the game and it was right there on that update, and it was just because of the fact that they're focusing on something that is not troubling at the moment. So I guess it typically, I guess it does happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with what I was saying, that it's not really Steam's problem about the review bombing. It's really the game's problem, and they should probably, instead of whining like, oh man, people are doing this just because of an update, they should really take it as, okay, a bunch of people didn't like this update, so let's fix it. I mean, that's the only thing that really is kind of pointless about this. And instead of complaining about review bombing, just fix the actual problem with the game. I mean, Black Squad's pings and PUBG's, whatever everybody got pissed off about, because I didn't recognize it because I love the game. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just something that we'll have to keep an eye on, and maybe Steam will change something, or the games will stop being pussies about it.
Well, actually, I don't blame Steam for it. I blame sometimes the developers.
Yeah.
Because Steam, what it do, they just put the product in the market. Let's say they put the product in the market, and the ones who have to keep that product going have to be let's say, the developers.
Yeah, developers.
Yeah. So the thing I should say is that developers supposed to be looking at the reviews they're getting on their game and say, oh, we got a bad review on this one. Let's fix it for the next update. That will get them happier. That will make them keep going on the game, and let's say wasting money on the game. So that's actually, I don't blame Steam for it. I blame mostly the developers, because they don't keep a control on that. Let's say, like Black Squad, let's say they bring out the P90. The gun is good. People buy it. And then next week they're going to nerf it. I'll definitely put a bad review on it, because I bought the gun, let's say, with money, and now you're going to nerf it. I was wasting my money on something that I ain't going to use anymore. So that kind of get people mad sometimes with the developers too.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and talk about, a lot of people in Discord probably seen my message in the announcements? Yeah, I made it in the announcements. We have actually implemented a new donation method so you can donate to the community. It's actually on our Twitch. It's through a system called Stream Elements, and it only works with Twitch. So since I mainly stream there almost every day, I figured that would be the best place to put it. Now the way that you can donate is you actually just go to the WarDogz G.C. Twitch account, the Twitch channel, and down at the bottom underneath the video, you'll actually see a picture of a piggy bank that says beer fund on it. That's totally Saeko's idea, I swear. But but you just click on that picture, it'll take you right to our donation page, and you could put in any amount. The minimum amount is $1, but I know for obvious reasons. But yeah, you can donate as much as you want at any point. So the reason why we're accepting donations, and I want to make this clear, because one thing that is really off-putting to people is when streamers or gaming community starts getting to that point where they're like, hey, you can donate, because then it's like, well, what are you going to be doing with our money? So I want to make this one very clear. Any donations are being used for our own servers or any improvement to our community to get us more people, to make our lives, in the community a more fun experience. And then also they will be used to improve our streaming methods. Now the streaming methods might seem a little personal, but since we're streaming from a generalized WarDogz Gaming Community account, all that, the stream is for the community. It's not for me, it's not for Saeko or any of the other streamers. It's just for our community. So when you donate and you see that your donation is going to the stream improvement, the reason for that is because we want to get more people in here. We want to bring in fun people so that we, at all hours of the day and night, there's people in here playing. That's kind of the level that we want to get to in our streams. Now the account holders for the donation account is myself, Saeko, and Little Wolf as of right now. We're kind of tossing up the idea of having a treasurer. But that's still in discussion, and that's something that we're gonna possibly see down the road. Now, the reason why we want to let everybody know who has access to the account is because, one, we want you to know who is spending your donations, or who has the ability to spend your donations, and also who to contact if you want some proof that the donations are being used toward what we're saying they're being used for. So with that, at any point, if you donate and you feel like something's off, you're not seeing any changes, and you're looking on our Twitch and you see that there's been a decent amount of money that's been donated, and you want to know what's going on, you can always ask myself, Saeko, or Little Wolf for the transaction history on the account. The reason why we're doing that is so that you can see any deposits and any withdrawals from that account. So with that being said, all you gotta do is send any of us a private message. We can go ahead and get that history to you, and that'll pretty much hopefully solve any problems that you might be having. And the last thing I want to cover over the donations is no one is required to donate at all. Don't feel like you have to, anything like that. You're not being pressured. It's simply an optional thing. Anybody's welcome here. Anybody except for Bloody. He's just kind of like a tick you can't really get rid of. But I mean,
Really, really.
but yeah, that's one thing that we want to stress is do not feel like you're required to donate. So keep that in mind. If anybody's giving you crap saying, "Oh, well, I donated," and you didn't, or anything like that, you let one of us know immediately, because then we'll go ahead and hand that donation right back to somebody and tell them to, go on their way. We're not playing that game. Donating does not get you anywhere ahead individually. It gets us ahead as a community. So make sure you keep that in mind if you're looking to donate. Hopefully you feel like it's to the right cause, and we'll just see, where this goes. But that's pretty much all we had for the donations, and I think that's everything we had in general. Saeko, Bloody, what do you got? You guys got anything else for us?
Other than the donations, I think that's a good improvement. I guess that would help our community, basically support them. I would have to say it would basically just like if someone, like, I don't know, in the community needs something, or I don't know exactly what we would use it really, other than to help maintain the community and make them basically just help the community, I guess, in a sense.
Well, mainly, if you think about it too, the donations would be used for giveaways, and all that, raffles, anything of that nature. So, I mean, really, when you donate, it's going to go to a broad spectrum of things. If you donate and you happen to participate in an event and win, more than likely you're going to get more back than you put in. So, just keep that in mind. And I mean, if you feel like you want to donate but you're not too sure, you can always come to one of us and discuss any concerns that you would have. Now, also keep in mind that anybody can donate. Anybody. They don't have to be in the community. They don't have to be on Discord. They don't have to do anything, really. They just have to click that beer fund button. So,
Now that we're off on our donations and we that all squared away, so Bloody, how do you feel about our community? Like, what do you think could be changed or improved? What's your
Well, well,
did you
I've been in the community of the WarDogz for like about 4 to 5 months, and I've seen the community grow, grow like we have more members than I've been in other like in other communities. I've seen this community grow more and more like every day, and actually I'm happy for it. I hope this it keeps growing and it doesn't stop.
yeah, man, I got to tell you, Bloody, I mean, everything that I've seen out of you, I mean, I'm very happy about it. I'm glad you're here with us, and I'm glad you've been with us from the beginning, really, where we started it with. I mean, from what I remember, it was just Saeko, Little Wolf, and then I came along shortly after. And I mean, there was maybe like 5 people in here, and the Discord server was used for what game was it, Sega? You remember? I know it was
uh
just one game. I can't remember what it was.
APB Reload, I think it was. That's in that game. That's where I met Psycho, uh, Nate, and TS8 8128. That's where I met them in APP Reload that game. And when I got in, I remember there was like 10 members, probably 10 members. And every time I got on, there were the still same 10 members. So when I came back to my parents' country in Honduras, I saw a big change of it, saying, "Oh, from 10 members we got to 20, and from 20 in a month we got to 30, and we still keep growing day by day."
Yeah, I mean I think it may have been APB, because I think the first time I joined was when you messaged me on Steam. It was like, hey, come play APB, and I came over to the Discord. I think that was, I mean, that was
Yeah,
right around the
I
beginning.
think
It
that
was
was
very
it too.
close.
Because when I came from work, I saying, "Oh, I'm gonna see if the guys of Discord are on APB." And I put on the chat, "Are you guys gonna play APB?" They say, "Yeah, we're gonna get in the moment."
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're glad you're here with us, and you've been here from the beginning. So we look forward to seeing some more. And yeah, anybody, like I said earlier, anybody that wants to get in on the podcast and wants to make a difference in the community, you know, one person you want to look up to is Bloody, because he's doing it right. So keep an eye on that and make sure that you're working in the community and doing everything you can. I mean, if you think about it, all you got to do is play video games. that's that's really all it is. So come in with a good attitude and have fun, and you know you'll be here. I mean, really, the only thing that I have is I want to just bring up again. Some of you may have been on or seen the chat when we were having the Cards Against Humanity night. No, that that was not very planned at all. It was really an hour
That was
before.
random.
Yeah, it was. It was maybe like an hour or two before we actually did it. I just happened to send Seiko a message. I was like, "Hey, I found a Cards Against Humanity clone. Do we want to get like everybody in and play some Cards Against Humanity?" Unfortunately, because it wasn't planned, we didn't have a really big player base. But the player base
Nice.
that was there, I mean, I think we had a good time. I mean, we got a little tipsy and uh, played Cards Against Humanity. I mean, I had fun. I don't know, Bloody, you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I had fun too, man. I did not stop laughing because of the stuff we were putting. And the funny thing is about that game is that you need to become like creative, like trying to um, make the other player say something he doesn't want to say. That's the fun of the game.
Yeah,
So well, I in some parts, some sentences did not make any sense. So people started laughing because of the stuff you have to say. Even though you
yeah,
don't want to say it, you have to say it.
yep.
Yep.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, the only thing that upset me about that night is, I mean, it was great. We all had a good time. Everybody's laughing, and I had a stream going on Twitch the entire time, and I didn't realize it until the end that the audio was messed up, and the only thing people could hear is me. So I had no idea about that. They couldn't hear anybody in Discord. I actually figured out the source of the problem shortly after it happened. So anybody that was watching the stream and wasn't playing, you know, that's my bad. I mean, it was a lot funner than just listening to me laugh, because I can guarantee you everybody else was laughing probably harder than I was. So um,
Most
we're
definitely.
Yeah, I even had a headache of laughing too much. Even my lungs were hurting of laughing too much. I gotta say it. Even my sister woke up and she said, "Why are you laughing at yourself?" And I told her, "Come read this.
yeah.
This is the stuff that's making me laugh." So she read it and she started laughing too. So I told her that's why I'm laughing. And she said, "Oh, okay, I'm going back to sleep. Don't worry. I just wanted to know why you were laughing."
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why I bring that up is because we're gonna be doing more stuff like that. Instead of playing, Black SWAT all the time, or having, hey, we're all gonna play Black, because we do that every day. These special events, they're gonna be games similar to the way Cards Against Humanity was played. I mean, maybe every now and then we'll be like, hey, we're gonna have a different game, like a dirty bomb event where everybody gets on. But mainly, it's going to be, just laid back games like Cards Against Humanity, where you can just sit back and listen to some music and, just laugh. So yeah, I mean, that's really where these events are going to go. And we're definitely going to do another Cards Against Humanity night, and it's going to be planned in advance. So make sure you're checking the Steam group event calendar for details on that. I mean, that's really all we have for the podcast. I think we're good, man.
Yeah. Make
Yeah.
sure you guys subscribe, like our YouTube channel, our Twitch.
Yeah,
We
the Twitch is going to be important for streams. That's going to be my Bronx. That's going to be my main streaming
go to.
platform. So make sure you're checking in on that um, and you know, hitting that follow and everything else. If you do it during the stream, I got this fancy little graphic that plays. So put a lot of work into it. So that's my baby.
Yeah, I like the fact
Your
that
new baby.
I like the fact that when you donate, it fills up the beer bottle.
Yeah, it does.
Really?
Hey, it's
I
the
did
beer
not know
fun,
that.
man. It's the
I
beer
haven't
fun.
seen that. I need to see it one of these days.
Yeah.
Well, what I have to say is like, subscribe, follow us on Twitch, and if you want to see what we are gonna do, go to the WarDogz channel on Steam, and let's say join, and you will know what everything's gonna come up with.
Well, I think we're good to go. As always, if you have any questions over the podcast, you can comment or you can send us a message or anything like that. So, yeah. Later.
Deuces.
Bye.
Bloody, do the oh, who is it? Oh man, the Mexican comedian guy, George Lopez.
What?
George
I don't know
Lopez.
how to do George Lopez.
No, the bye, have a good time thing.
Oh, adiós, que tengan un buen día.
Give me a minute. I'm trying to think.
You gotta get into character, bro. Breathing.
Gotta breathe, bro. Alright, so Saeko here again with Bronx, my big daddy Bronx over here. My big daddy Bronx over here. My big daddy Bronx over here. We got Bronx. And then alright, hold on.
I'm
Cut that
sorry.
out.
Do not call me Big Daddy.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna call you
gosh.
Big Daddy Bronx.
That's
bro.
going in the director's cut, bro.
That's
Take
going
two,
in the
bro.
That's going in the bloopers.